Hey, everyone, it's Tuesday at 2. Plan B Sales in Concord, North Carolina. We are so glad you joined us talking diecast, talking NASCAR racing. Steve Post from the Motor Racing Network, and we've got a lot of ground to cover. So let's get right after it here. Let's see who's checking in. Victor is checking in on the pole position. How about that? Todd, John, and Alex Blanning is checking in as well. That's your front two rows. You could check in as well. Comment there in the comment section. Again, I'd like to remind everyone we do not know specifics of diecast while we're standing here. We don't have access to the files or the laptop, so I don't know when your Chase Elliott Hooters car is going to arrive, but it will arrive as soon as we get it here. But if you want to talk a little NASCAR racing, we can certainly do that, and we would love to have a little conversation with you as far as that goes. So great stuff and a great time. It was a great time if you're a Brad Keselowski fan. Our main man on social media, Grant Campbell, he loves Brad Keselowski. I mean, loves him. When they go to Talladega Super Speedway, back when fans were allowed, I'd see Grant and his mom and the whole family down there. They'd set up, they'd pull a pickup truck right into the NASCAR garage area, set up a tailgate right outside of Brad. Well, they didn't do that. They love. So Grant Campbell, oh, he was doing backflips, and all Brad Keselowski fans were doing backflips, and we have that diecast, that race-winning diecast available on pre-order right now. Brad K. race-winning diecast from New Hampshire. How about that? Picking up the victory at New Hampshire. So neat stuff. Good to have Brad Keselowski pick up that win, and we do have the race winner. We're going to talk a lot about Brad here on the program, but we're also going to cover some other ground as well. I find this time of year so much fun. One of the reasons I find it so much fun is we're unveiling paint schemes, okay? Now, we've got one of our own coming up in a little bit we'll talk about. But we're unveiling this week, today, some Darlington paint schemes. Did you see what the Wood Brothers did? They did with Matt DiBenedetto, Marvin Panch from right there, the Daytona 500 winner. How about Daniel Hemrick? Did a John Andretti throwback that he's going to do. So Darlington paint schemes are starting to come online. You can find all of those at that will be offered as diecast. All of those at www.planbsales.com. That's planbsales.com. Race-winning diecast and Darlington throwback diecast. So neat stuff and big fun. That is for sure, and I love that. All right, so let's see. We got a couple of other things. Victor, what do you think about Levine Family Racing shutting down after the 2020 season concludes? I was sad to see that today. Bob Levine, a really cool guy, had a chance to hang out with him in the NASCAR garage a little bit, hung out with him at the Chili Bowl as well, and I hate to see this. He put his heart and soul and a whole lot of money into this, and when we look at 2020, we look at what's going on within NASCAR, it is expensive to own a team, and he had a sponsorship deal that didn't come together, and he runs a construction business, and that business is struggling a little bit in 2020, and Bob Levine decided that he was going to pull the plug on it and stop spending the family fortune on it. I hate to see that. I hate to hear that. I hope our boy Christopher Bell, one of our drivers, finds a spot. But it is life as we have it. 30 million people are unemployed in America. Nobody's working. Everybody's changed and challenged. And NASCAR teams are not immune from that. And it's just a sign of the times. And as much as I hate to see it, and like I said, I love Bob Levine, it's 2020, folks. You know, it's not the only company that's made different decisions. And so the good news is, and I respect Bob for this, is that he has made the decision and made his announcement in August. Okay? Sometimes we have teams do this in December or January and leaving a whole bunch of people looking for work. The good crew members for LFR Racing probably have jobs already, because it's like sharks out there with the good crew members. You find a good crew member, you got a good car chief, you got a good engineer. I got Jason Ratcliffe as the crew chief over there. I am telling you what, if they're not under contract with Joe Gibbs Racing or somebody else, they are going to be gobbled up. And that is one thing I respect about a team owner that will announce this in August. I think Barney Visser did it. He did it in July or August as well. That gives all of your people a fair shot in the market out there as we look forward to 2021. But sad to bring them up. That is for sure. Let's see what else we got. What do you think of Hendrick's plan for the 48 car this year, Robert? That's a good question. I think that Christopher Bell being available may actually factor into that one way or the other. We've heard, well, one of the other dominoes fell into place earlier. That's Brad Keselowski. announced a 1-year contract extension with Penske Racing. So take Brad out of the discussion there. I think one of the other top drivers in the discussion was Eric Jones, okay? So does Eric Jones end up there, or does Jones stay put at Joe Gibbs Racing? They'd like to keep Eric Jones, but they'd also like to keep Christopher Bell in the fold. And so which one do you say goodbye to? And I don't know the details of their contracts. Maybe one of those drivers, Eric Jones or Christopher Bell, ends up in the 48 car. I don't know. Could be that. Could be a wild card too. That would be my guess. I've also heard, I'll tell you, there's a lot of talk right now about, there's a whole lot of talk out there about, what's his name in the 3 car? I'm drawing total blank on this. Tyler Reddick. There's a lot of talk about Tyler Reddick as well. So I wouldn't necessarily discount his name out of the equation as well. That cat's a real race car driver. So I don't know, Robert. I don't know what's going to happen with that Hendrick 48. I think this week's news does impact that, though, because Brad Keselowski was one of the drivers that was in that discussion, as has been Eric Jones. Now, Keselowski pulls his name out of that discussion, but Christopher Bell might put his name right in the hat as well. So stay tuned. We'll see what happened on that, and it is good stuff. That is for sure. And it just rolls along. Chris says it's crazy to me that in these bad economies that certain diecasts keep selling out. Yeah, but boy, if you look back 15 or 20 years ago, there's a lot fewer selling out than there used to be. And it's a lot smaller number. It's a different world right now. Chris, I agree with you. It's great that we have all the diecast available and everything like that, but we also get a fair share of DMPs as well. And so it's kind of a sign of the times. It's 2020, and some things are selling out, and some things are not even getting produced. And so just kind of the nature where we're at. That is for sure. Ray wants to know, does Stewart Haas keep its current 4 drivers next year? That's another question. I don't know the answer to that. I think obviously Kevin Harvick is set. He's locked into an extended contract. If I'm not mistaken, Eric Almirola might be set over there as well. Cole Custer's not going anywhere, especially after getting that win. I think the one on the hot seat is Clint Boyer. And does Christopher Bell look at that as an option? So we'll have to see. Stay tuned. We'll have to see what happens with it. It's called silly season for a reason. Remember last year, this time last year, it was right around Bristol in August, when everyone was losing their minds about poor old Matty D. He's not going to have a ride. Matty D's going to be, he did all of this. He goes to Bristol, about wins the race, and he's going to be terminated from Levine Family Racing. He's going to be out on the streets, panhandling, looking for work. We never know what happens. Nobody saw Paul Menard retiring. And look where Matty D is. He's running in the top 10, and he's going to get some wins before the year is done. So it's called silly season for a reason. Pull those belts tight, and we'll see what happens with silly season. Blake R. Browning says Larson will be in the 14 car. Blake, you know a little bit more than Kyle does, if that's the case. We interviewed Kyle on Wing Nation last week, and Kyle said he's had no discussion in NASCAR. Now, granted, sometimes they'll tell us a little bit of a fib, but the one thing that Kyle said that I think is very telling, we know what Kyle said and what got him out of NASCAR, and one of the things he had indicated is the way the world is now and the way the climate is right now, it's going to be a lot of work to get back into NASCAR. And what he means by that is good luck selling a driver who sadly made a mistake, said that word. Good luck selling that to Ford and selling that to other partners in 2020. And we love Kyle Larson. We're Kyle Larson. We're on. He wins sprint car races with Plan B sales on it. We love him. But I think Kyle in that Wing Nation interview last week kind of showed the world we're in, right, wrong, or indifferent. Right now, the climate in the world is somebody who has said the N-word may be a little tough to sell. It might be an easy sell to Tony Stewart, okay? It might be a little bit trickier when it comes to the partners on that car. So I don't think Larson to the 14 is a done deal. Now, could it happen? Yes, it could happen. It's called silly season. So, yeah, and it's just, it does. I think right there, Todd is 100% right. Wisdom from Todd Montgomery right there. Oh, wisdom from Todd. Silly season gets more insanity season. That's right. It is. It is insanity season. Oh, yeah. Stewart Haas Racing. What are you going to do with Chase Briscoe? Okay? What are you going to do with Chase Briscoe? Where are you going to put him? I think Briscoe's got a pretty good shot at that 14 car if Clint Boyer goes away. I think it's going to be awful tough with Buddy Boy, Chase Briscoe winning all those races. It's going to be awful tough to say, yes, thank you for winning 6, 7, 8, 9 Xfinity races and a championship, because he's going to be in the hunt, but we're going to go in another direction. I think that's a tough sell too. And by the way, when we talk about relationships with manufacturers and partners, I can tell you from firsthand experience that Chase Briscoe is loved by the Blue Oval Bunch, the Ford gang. So, yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think that's why they call it silly season. That is silly season. And that's what it's all about. So great stuff. That is for sure. And we will go from there. Okay. Is there a chance a Larson Sprint Car Diecast will be offered? Thomas, we hope so, but we just don't know the answer now. There is apparently a lot of discussion about a mold out there for a new Sprint Car Diecast. But right now it's discussion. We don't have any of the forms on it. When it does happen, I'm fairly confident that there's at least one company in the diecast industry that would love to have a Kyle Larson sprint car. We have one from the past with Plan B sales on it, and I'm fairly confident that that would be something that would happen, but it just does not seem to be moving along as fast. By the way, we're in the middle of a pandemic, okay? So consequently, a lot of those discussions, I heard the Lionel, we're involved with sprint car racing with Wing Nation, and Plan B is our partner over there. And a lot of that partnership was, man, when they get this sprint car diecast, we'll blow it out on Wing Nation. We had all of those discussions, okay? And in February, I'm down at Volusia, and agreements are being put in place. Well, in the middle of March, the world changed. And unfortunately, I think right now where we're sitting with it, I'm not sure what the timeline is. That doesn't mean in 10 minutes they might come out with a full line of sprint cars, and it might mean that 2 years down the road, we still don't have a line of sprint cars. So stay tuned. That's all we can tell you. Stay tuned. A lot is happening, and a lot is going on in the world. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to save John's question here. That's a great question. I appreciate that. But I do want to get through this diecast that we have here. Brad Keselowski, the big winner up in New Hampshire. Oh, we got the big announcement for, well, we've already announced it, but we want to show it off too, as well as what Brett Moffitt's doing. Let's get through the Keselowski stuff, then we'll talk about Brett Moffitt, then we'll get back to your questions, okay? Brad Keselowski picked up the win here, okay? We have got, and the way they do it, all of these are on the bases, okay? They're not, oh, I'm sorry, they're not on the base. Oh, this is the temporary base, okay. I'm thinking something totally different. Well, the Miller stuff a lot of times and the beer stuff a lot of times have different things, okay? So they're not. This is just the way we're showing it off here. Look at this, discount tire, autographed by Brad Keselowski, in stock now. In fact, every one of these, if you're a Brad Keselowski fan, you need to go right on Plan B sales and just start knocking them off your bucket list, off your checklist. Look at that, discount tire car, beautiful looking race car for Brad Keselowski, okay? Here is the Miller Lite. This is one of the patriotic paint schemes, autographed again by Brad Keselowski. Really sweet looking car. The Miller Lite cars, we don't know what the future is for Miller Lite on these cars. So it might be one that you want to get your hands on, as Brad Keselowski is in the Miller Lite Patriotic car. The more traditional Miller Lite white car, Brad Keselowski's autograph on the windshield of this one, and just a solid, the white number 2. Used to be the blue deuce, now it's the white deuce. The number 2 car of Brad Keselowski. This is one we've talked about a couple times here over the last month or month and a half. This is the Christmas colors paint scheme. Yes, it looks just like your tacky sweater for Christmas time, but this one is on a diecast car, so it's not tacky. It looks really good, and it's got Brad Keselowski's autograph in gold on the front of this one. How about that? Look at that. Your sweater car. Yes, absolutely. You know, that looked awful good. That looked awful good as a Christmas decoration, too. It's, yeah, you think you're joking around. Well, August leads to September. September leads to October. October leads to November. And November leads to December. And then you're behind. So grab this. Put that on the mantle during the holiday season. It's the most wonderful time of the year, you know. There you go. Brad Keselowski, the Worth colors. Great looking car. The Worth red, black, and white car. Brad Keselowski, gold penned autograph on there. Brad's doing a lot more of that gold pen autograph. I think he liked our color pens, and I think he just decided that he wants to be the gold standard of autograph, and so he's doing his own. I'll stop you right in the middle of it because we do like to also point this out. Certificate of authenticity, if I can get my fingers to work. With every diecast that's autographed, make sure that you get this from RCCA, from Action, from Plan B Sales, from the driver's store. Junior has his own licensing agreement. Make sure there's a certificate of authenticity, because what this means is that that driver had that pen that touched that windshield, and that's what that means. So a certificate of authenticity, you got to get it with all your autographed diecasts. It's the real deal for sure. Here we go. The Pirate or Pertex car, I guess that is. I remember that car, but I don't remember where I saw it race at. But the Pertex car, great looking car there for Brad. And yes, autographed again in the gold pen. And we're going to continue on all of this again in stock. The Dent Wizard colors on the car. The Dent Wizard number 2 of Brad Keselowski. There you go. And then this one here. Okay, we talked about Darlington throwbacks. This is a double chicken money car. Okay, this is the Black Miller number 2. Brad Keselowski autograph on the front, Rusty Wallace autograph on the back. How about that? How do you like them apples? Look at that one. And we only have 3 or 4 of these available. So you better get this right now. This one here, autograph, dual autograph. Rusty on the back, Brad on the front. The throwback car from Darlington. Man, I'll tell you what. Isn't that a good-looking car? And so we'll see. Brad Keselowski Diecast. All of these we've got a little bit more quantity of, but this one here, we're down to less than 5. I think they told us 3, and it might be down to 2 or 1 right now, as this thing right now. So you need to order it up. So there you have it. The Brad Keselowski collection, as we have right here at www.planbsales. All right, Brett Moffitt. Now we had this on our social media earlier. Okay, earlier this week, Brett Moffitt wanted to honor in his last weekend Jimmy Johnson. And so with the 2007 paint scheme, Brett Moffitt, who is partnering with us at Phoenix, they have designed this truck with Lionel, Plan B Sales, and we have it available now for pre-order. That is the old Jimmy Johnson paint scheme, the old Lowe's paint scheme on his car. Look at that, Plan B Sales, the yellow swoosh around the number, the blue color, everything. And that is a tribute to Jimmy Johnson in his final weekend for Brett Moffitt. You can get that pre-ordered right now, and I would highly suggest, strongly suggest that you do that. So isn't that a good-looking car? Oh, my gosh, that looks good. And the picture of it, there's the Jimmy car right there with the championship flag out of it. Yes, absolutely. So Brett Moffitt, and who knows, with Moffitt as good as he is, maybe he'll bring home a championship in that Plan B Sales truck to look just like that celebration that Jimmy Johnson had in that Lowe's number 48 car back in 2007. So we have that available now as well. PlanBsales.com. Oh, you got to dial us up, and you got to get it right now. All right, here we go. I saw the question from John up there. What track do you miss more, Rockingham or North Wilkesboro? Ooh, yes. Probably Rockingham, but not by a lot. I love Rockingham and North Wilkesboro both. But as evolution took place, they have no longer found themselves on the tour, and neither has found a way back on the tour or even back to running races. So Rockingham had the comeback, ran the truck series there a couple of times. I did both those races for Motor Racing Network, and it was great to be back at Rockingham. And I think that might be why I used to love the journey down to Rockingham, get up on a Sunday morning and just drive down there. But this past weekend, I was in the North Carolina mountains and drove by Wilkesboro, and kind of cool to see that too. Both really great racetracks that no longer host any racing action. And so consequently, I think I would, if I had to choose one or the other, I like Rockingham, although boy, that little North Wilkesboro, man, that was a racy little joint too. I'll tell you what, I'd take either one of them or both of them if they'd give them back to us. But time has marched on, and that does not appear like it's going to happen. And so we can live with ESPN highlight films and old TNN highlight films from down in Rockingham. So neat stuff. That is for sure. And it is good, is for sure. Yeah, Alex, one track I missed used to be the truck schedule on the Walt Disney World Speedway. I worked in the truck series, Randy Tolsma's team, IWX. My first race with the team was the old Walt Disney World Speedway. That was a neat racetrack, triangular in shape, but not Pocono triangular, different triangular. They've had, and I don't know where they're at with it now, Richard Petty driving experience used to be at that racetrack. And so it is cool. It is really good. Great stuff. That is for sure, and really neat. So I think that's it. I'm looking down through, and I don't see a lot more as far as questions go. I see some specific car questions, and I just don't have the answers on that. And so we will see. Exactly. So anyhow, so let's recap what we have. We have Brad Keselowski Diecast up to all of this stuff in stock. This one here, still in stock, I believe. They haven't told me elsewise. Still in stock, okay? And pre-order the race winner from New Hampshire on Sunday afternoon. Your Darlington diecast is coming out on a regular basis, okay? Today, 2 announcements alone. The Wood Brothers with Matty D and Daniel Hemrick with Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the John Andretti throwback. Those will be available as soon as Lionel makes them available. You can find those. Our very own Brett Moffitt diecast, the Truck Series diecast, coming up at Phoenix Raceway. The Jimmy Johnson 2007 throwback, that is available for pre-order as well, plus all your diecast needs. It is going to be exciting, that is for sure, and we have got you covered. And you can get all of your diecast at www.planbsales.com. I'm Steve Post from Motor Racing Network. Thanks for joining us here on our Tuesday at 2 broadcast.